Good afternoon, friends. I am going to be hanging out here for a couple of minutes while others join our live for the Meet the Leaders series today. Hi, Dre, Cesar, I see you. I'm glad I'm not alone anymore. Hi, Lou, welcome. So as I shared recently, we're going to be hanging out here for a minute or two so that a couple of folks trickle in and Mileyka joins later. So while they come, I want to know where you're joining from and most importantly, what brings you here today. Haha, I see Allapattah CDC joining. Hi, Leva. Welcome to our live. Tori, wow, the whole Radical Partners crew is joining for this lunch break or whatever time it is of day. Thank you for coming, ladies. Little Havana being represented. I love it. Hi, Tori. Can you tell us where you're joining from for folks to know? West Kendall, we see you. Okay, I'll wait 30 more seconds and then we'll get started with the crew that we have over here because I know Mileyka is waiting for us to get started. Cali, all the way from the other coast. Welcome, Tori. Thank you for joining in. Okay, well, I'm going to get us started. Well, good afternoon, Radical Partners friends. For those of you who are watching and do not know who I am, I'm happy to share that a year ago, I had the honor of stepping up as the second ever executive director of Radical Partners, which is the social impact accelerator based in Miami. So I have the privilege of leading a group of 7 very, I would say, courageous, smart, and caring women who are accelerating change in the city. The most amazing thing about our work is not what we do together as us, the 7, but is supporting the leaders who are really moving and striving and shaping their communities in Miami-Dade County. So it is an honor to be here today for our 3rd Meet the Leader series, which is featuring some of our Strategic Planning Summit alumni. So today I will be sharing this virtual stage with a beloved friend and a woman who I admire tremendously, Mileyka Burgos-Flores, who is a proud Dominican shaping Miami and Allapattah in particular. So I am going to go ahead and welcome her so that I'm not yet alone left here. So let me add you, Mileyka, so that you can join me. Hi, Scarlett, I see you. Welcome, welcome. We're letting Mileyka in. Okay, this should start working soon. Hi, Scarlett, welcome. So if Mileyka is having issues, it's my fault because she requested to join a minute ago and I was too busy giving the introduction. So I'm going to try again. If not, Leva, I know that you're watching. Maybe you can help me sort things out for Mileyka so that she joins soon. Hi, Alia, welcome. Interesting. It's telling me that Allapattah cannot join the live. So while we figure things out, please enjoy the chat. If you can start sharing what you think Allapattah CDC does, or what you've heard about the organization, or Mileyka herself in the meantime. Yeah, and I think Mileyka can request to join the live again because it worked before. So if you want to try it out, Mileyka, maybe that's the way to go. Yeah, that has happened to me before as well, Scarlett, that when the app doesn't work, or it's not updated, it doesn't let you join the live. But I see her. Let's see if this works. Hi, Javi. So nice to see you. We are just enjoying this lunch break together while we sort tech things out. So feel free to tell us where you're joining from and what do you know about Mileyka Burgos or the Allapattah CDC, as we're going to be here learning from her today. Hi, Cari. Yeah, a lot of we've heard a lot about that in the news, about Allapattah CDC's work saving the Allapattah Library. We're going to talk about that shortly. Hi, Alia, all the way from New York and the Bronx. So Mileyka, I think she needs to update the app to make it to this live. So we're giving her a couple of minutes to figure it out while Leyva supports her. Leyva, oh,
finally.
You see, this is how we roll, Mileyka. We just
do it. We just do it.
We are resilient and resourceful human beings, and the internet cannot stop us of sharing the wonderful things you're doing. How are you?
I'm doing great. So happy to see you, to join my RP family in this live. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you so much for giving us 15 minutes of your very precious time, Mileyka. It is a pleasure to be here today, as I was sharing. There's a lot of expectations there about you and Allapattah CDC. So I'm just going to go ahead and introduce you, Mileyka. For those of you who don't know her yet, which eventually you will, I want to share about Mileyka. And I think the best description that we can share here is that she is an avid advocate for strategies that uplift the community and promote the economic vitality of immigrants of color in the United States and in Miami, and most particularly in Allapattah. But she's done so much that I wish I could memorize it, but I'm not an actress, so I'm going to have to rely on my notes to share some of the things that she does and some of the things that she has accomplished. So bear with me as I move my eyes. You just stand there, Mileyka, and you hear all the amazing things that you've done in the past. So after going through a community engagement process focused on creating an equitable development action plan, targeting the retention and growth of small businesses at risk of displacement in Miami, Florida, Mileyka funded the Allapattah Collaborative CDC. To date, so fast forward to date, her initiatives have been funded by big foundations in town like the Miami Foundation, the J.M. Kaplan Foundation, Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, among other funders. So at the Allapattah CDC, she has been working on, pay attention to this, implementing placemaking techniques to foster identity, support wealth building strategies for marginalized communities of color, and advocate for policies and procedures that support equitable, comprehensive, and sustainable community development. So yes, you're right. It sounds like a lot. Well, that's what she does, right? Like she wants to make sure that the Dominican communities and the communities of color in Miami have a strong sense of identity, step into their power, and turn those businesses around so that there's prosperity in the community and Miami at large. And over the past year, they have worked with the community to develop a strategic plan. Their strategies focus now on collaboration, on education, and hand-on-hand coaching to strengthen the individuals, their small micro businesses, and the community as some best practices that they have identified to improve their own neighborhood. Their most recent wins, after all these things that I've shared, there are two, literally that happened in May and June. So back in May, they celebrated the designation of Northwest 17th Avenue in Allapattah as a main street by the Florida Department of State. Mileyka has the paper that can prove you that that happened. And also, they mobilized locals, and I would say locals under 20, most of them, to preserve the Allapattah Library. So in your own words, Mileyka, will you share with us, why do you do this work? Why do you think this work is important? And why is it that the Allapattah Collaborative CDC exists?
Because people that have given so much to Miami deserve to stay in Miami. And Miami is going through very rapid transformation. And if we don't cherish, highlight what we have, we may just lose it. So we need to show how much we care, and we care about Allapattah, we care about our communities of color, and we care about Miami. I think that Miami is an amazing city, and what we want to make sure is that all of us immigrants and all of us people of color that came to Miami or have been in Miami, born and raised, and have those dreams of making Miami and having our families here and having this vibrant communities, we can make that happen. I'm a Dominican immigrant. When I came to Miami, I came because I got a scholarship to go to and a few months later, I was really, really homesick. And the first place that I was taken to was Allapattah, and I felt like I felt at home. So at that moment, Allapattah stole my heart, and all of my volunteer time has gone to Allapattah, to the point that I have left the city of Miami to do fellowships outside of Miami, in Miami, but always looking for best practices on how can we keep our people in place? How can we make sure that our small businesses are not kicked out? How do we stop gentrification? How do we stop the displacement that it's happening? And it's urgent. I mean, I couldn't tell you that this is something that we can wait until later to do. Allapattah and the city of Miami has an urgent call on housing, on infrastructure, and on making sure that our communities stay vibrant and that people stay here. Because a small business is really a family. And a family is the cornerstone of our community.
That's a strong why. Thank you so much, Mileyka. And this question that follows is going to be a challenging one because from all the things that you've done for the people, by the people, with the people in Allapattah, what would you consider is the greatest accomplishment of your organization in the community development and social impact space? And I'm going to add a little thing to the question. An accomplishment not necessarily needs to be a successful outcome, right? Which is something that we're very used to hearing about, all the big numbers and all the big things. So just wanted to give you the space to share what you think is the one biggest accomplishment that you have at Allapattah Collaborative CDC.
I think that, and I'm going to be very honest, last night we had a town hall meeting with Allapattah community members, and it was just heartbreaking hearing the community speak. And it was more heartbreaking for me because I have had years, hours, months of like sitting and listening to the community and what they need and what they want and what they complain about and the things that they would like to see and the things that they need. But having my colleagues and other people and having this event being recorded for the city of Miami to peruse if they want to, and knowing that this is feedback that's going to go straight to the city of Miami, and the empowerment of the community, it was so powerful. Because when the community speaks and they're listened to, that's where we're going. When you believe in something and make it happen and congregate and make sure that you speak up for your community, that's everything. And I can tell you that, last week, the big win that we had training youth from Miami Jackson Senior High School, and them picking up a topic and going to City Hall and speaking on behalf of their community, empowering others. For me, in my personal opinion, being able to empower others and to give those people that did not realize that they had that voice, that courage to speak, is everything to me. And being able to also, I know that you asked me for one, but I think that, I think that there's a very big misconception when people want things to be community centered. You cannot solve a problem from the place where it's built. If you don't have something, you cannot get it from nowhere. So if the community doesn't have the know-how, if the community doesn't have the skills or the capacity or the money or the whatever it is, you need to bring that from outside. And being able to go to Texas, to go to Washington, D.C., to go outside of the state and advocate for my Allapattah community and bring those dollars to Miami and bring those dollars to affect those people, I think that's something that we need to realize that doesn't happen because you get together in the corner or with the people that are usually just complaining about the problems that they have. I think that understanding that we really need to learn best practices and see, okay, the whole system is shifting. How can we really make sure that we don't stay behind and that our community excels? It's, something else that I want to make sure that people think about when they think about, community organizations and community-based organization. We're very focused on Allapattah. We're very place-based, but we do not take our eyes away from the fact that for things to happen in Allapattah, they need to also happen in the city of Miami. They need to happen in the county. They need to happen in the state, and they need to happen in the country. So I think that those are wins, definitely.
Definitely. And I think what I'm taking away from what you're sharing is that you were the one doing that community work 4 years ago. And now you get the opportunity to zoom out and do it at the county level or national level or international level, because you've empowered your communities to do it for themselves, right? So that is definitely a big accomplishment. And I dare to say this in name of everybody at Radical Partners, that we are so proud of you, Mileyka. But I bet that some people watching might be like, what is the strong relationship between Mileyka and the Radical Partners crew? So would you be so kind to tell us which program or programs have you been part of at Radical Partners, and what has been your biggest takeaway from that?
The first program I was part of was Neighborhood Heroes, and I applied. I didn't think I was going to get in because I just had an idea. I didn't have a nonprofit. I wasn't part of any big coalition or anything. But I was educating myself and talking to my community, and I understood exactly the problem and exactly the things that needed to happen, and I got in. And I thought that was it. And, Radical Partners really turned it around for me, because I turned a passion, a volunteer project, into the Allapattah Collaborative. Like, the Allapattah Collaborative started at Radical Partners. I couldn't say it any other way. I think that we were able to do a theory of change at Radical Partners. I think that we were able to get our backbone on, this is not a cute project. This is, instrumental to the city of Miami. We learned so much from Rebecca and from the team, from Alia, from Sarah at that moment. Like, it was just really, really instrumental on us, getting our feet wet and just moving forward, and now being part of SPS is like, wow, like, you know, another leveling up. So I absolutely love Radical Partners, and I hope that you guys are here forever, because there's no one empowering change makers. If you don't have a 501c3, you are discounted. And that's something that not everybody's going to be able to apply for a 501c3 to make a change in their communities. And that's exactly what you guys provide, that pathway for that to happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Mileyka, because we truly believe that this is a reciprocal relationship, right? You came up with the idea, we just pushed you a little bit so that you would take it further. And speaking of Leadership Lab, which is a Neighborhood Heroes program that you shared, we're going to open a new cohort soon. So stay tuned for the next round of community leaders that we will be looking for, so that they can join the Mileyka family. Okay, so we should start wrapping this up, Mileyka. And my second to last question to you is, what change do you want to make in South Florida now, right? Things look very differently to how you started 3 years ago. So what change do you want to see? Hopefully
I think that making sure that our immigrant communities can thrive, that we can preserve our communities of color and the people in it, would be the biggest change. And the only way that happens is through their engagement. When they engage, we have an impact. When we collaborate, when we work together, we have an impact. Things have been happening because we have no engagement. But if we can get a very vibrant ecosystem of community advocacy where people are speaking for themselves, they're not afraid to raise their voices and speak up, we're going to have a very different Miami. We're going to have a very much preserved and diverse Miami. And I couldn't think of a better Miami to have.
So speaking of community engagement, Mileyka, we couldn't agree with you more about that. Where can people find more about you? How can they get involved with the work that you're doing?
Yes, so they can go to allapattahcdc.org. allapattahcdc.org. There they can check out every single thing that we're doing, all our programs. We have a small business resilience cohort for small businesses. We have a Allapattah Community Fellows that's going to open up again in August. We are helping people, making sure that our commercial corridor can continue to thrive. So we're here to help. And most importantly, that they can advocate for themselves. So allapattahcdc.org, also on the social media, / or at Allapattah CDC, would definitely get you to us. We are always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for canvassers. We're always looking for more money and foundations and people that really want to make a big difference in micro businesses and in our communities of color. So here we are.
Thank you, Mileyka. Okay, so you heard it, everybody. If you are a small business in Allapattah, go to Allapattah CDC to find more about the resources. If you have time to spare, if you want to volunteer with them, look out for them. If you are a funder, also try to strengthen what they're doing. And if you are not in Allapattah, either way, learn from them, right? So that you could do something similar to what Mileyka is doing in her community somewhere else in Miami or somewhere else in the world. So thank you so much, Mileyka, for your time, your passion, and all the resources that you shared with us.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure.
And we will have another conversation next Thursday at the same time, 2 p.m. So make sure that you tune in for the next Meet the Leader. We will be joining with someone else from SPS. But for now, thank you again, Mileyka. It was a pleasure to spend my lunchtime with you. And we'll be in touch. Onward we go.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.